After falling asleep, Shelly's second quest began. She found herself in a place more beautiful than she could have ever imagined. It was like stepping into a picture book. The sky above was a brilliant blue, not a single cloud in sight. The sun shone down, painting everything in a warm, golden sunlight. All around her, the tall grasses of the meadow glittered with dewdrops, each one a tiny, perfect sphere reflecting the light like a diamond. And everywhere she looked, beautiful flowers added splashes of color to the scene, making it feel like a real-life rainbow had been sprinkled over the valley. But what made this place truly magical were the unicorns. They were everywhere! Shelly had never seen so many unicorns in one place before. Their horns were like polished silver, shining brightly in the light. Their manes and tails flowed behind them like silk ribbons. They were everything she had dreamed of and more. As Shelly stood there taking it all in, one of the unicorns stepped forward. It was a little smaller than the others, with a horn that spiraled gracefully upwards. Its eyes were big and kind, and its fur was the color of freshly fallen snow. It took a step closer and lowered its head in a gesture of friendship. Then another unicorn came up, and then another, until there was a whole group of them surrounding Shelly. But they didn't seem afraid or nervous. They just stood there watching her, their eyes curious and gentle. Shelly felt a surge of happiness and excitement. Could this be the friend she was meant to make? One of the unicorns dipped its head and nudged her hand with its velvety nose. It felt like being touched by pure sunshine. Shelly couldn't help but smile. She reached out and stroked the unicorn's neck, and it leaned into her touch, its body glowing with a soft, magical energy. For a moment, Shelly felt like she had known this unicorn her whole life. There was a connection between them that went beyond words, a bond of trust and understanding. As she looked into the unicorn's eyes, she knew that these beautiful creatures weren't just magical, they were also incredibly kind and gentle. And as if sensing her thoughts, the unicorn dipped its head again and let out a soft whinny. Then it did something that made Shelly's heart soar. It stepped back, arched its neck, and lowered its head. It was inviting her to ride. Before Shelly could even respond, the other unicorns began to move, dancing and prancing around her in a circle. The one who had stepped forward earlier was waiting patiently for her, its horn glowing brightly. Shelly knew this was the moment she had been waiting for. She carefully mounted the unicorn's back, settling into a comfortable position between its ears. As she held on tight, the unicorn reared up on its hind legs and then shot forward like an arrow. They were running through fields of stardust flowers, their petals shimmering and sparkling like 1,000 tiny stars. Shelly laughed with pure joy as the wind whipped through her hair. She felt free, happy, and more alive than she had ever felt before. The other unicorns were with them, their horns touching, creating a magical path through the field. Suddenly, the unicorn stopped and turned to face her. The one she was riding dipped its head towards the ground, motioning for her to get off. Together, they walked to the edge of the field where a path had appeared. A path made of pure, radiant light. At the end of the path, a shimmering portal awaited them. The unicorns had led her here. But where did the path lead? What lay beyond the portal? Shelly had no idea. As she stepped forward, one of the unicorns touched her hand with its horn. A jolt of magical energy surged through her, and the unicorn's eyes seemed to twinkle with amusement. Suddenly, everything around her started to fade away. The portal was opening, revealing a glimpse of a land that seemed even more magical than the one she had just come from. With a final whinny, the unicorns disappeared, leaving Shelly to face the unknown alone. But as she took a step into the light, she knew that the courage and kindness she had shown on her journey so far would be the keys to completing her quests.